Hello students, today we'll discuss about disordered nanostructured solids. So one of which we have already seen, metal nanocluster composite classes. So today we'll look into porous silicon. So the porous silicon is actually a silicon which is subjected to an electrochemical etching. So which we call it as porous silicon because the pores has been etched out onto the silicon surface. So this is the same image of porous silicon where you can see the darker region shows the pores that is formed on a silicon surface. The speciality of porous silicon is that they are fluorescent at room temperature. So what do you mean by fluorescence? You know, a material can absorb light and re-emit in a visible region in a matter of 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. Then this is called fluorescence. If it is in a delayed way, it is called phosphorescence. So this porous silicon has gained interest recently because, as you know, silicon is actually used in many of the semiconductor industry in transistors and all. So it shows fluorescence when pores has been formed on the silicon surface using etching method. So this strong photon induced luminescence makes it as a new application for optoelectronic devices, display devices and all. So by controlling the processing conditions involved in etching, one can control what is the dimension of the pores that is formed on the silicon surface. So it can give a fluorescence at a band gap of 1.4 electron volts even at room temperature. That is the relevance of having porous silicon. And the peak wavelength will depend upon how long you have been etching the silicon. So by controlling those parameters, you can control the dimension. So here it is seen, if a silicon is undergoing etching of 2 hours, the peak that is obtained is different if it is undergoing an etching for 6 hours. So this clearly shows how you can control the dimension of the pore, and corresponding to that the absorbance can be controlled. So how do you make the porous silicon? For that we'll take a container, Teflon container, into which there's at the bottom surface we'll coat it with the silicon wafer, and you have a platinum electrode and the etching solution like hydrogen fluoride is taken inside the container. So once the electric charge is given, so the silicon is given a positive charge. So depending upon certain parameters, you can influence what will be the nature of the pore. So that means the one of the parameter is concentration of the etching solution, that is hydrogen fluoride. And another is how much is the magnitude of current that is passed through the electrodes. And is there any presence of any surface active agents, which is called surfactants, on the silicon surface, and whether it is an n-doped semiconductor or a p-doped silicon which has been used. So the p-doped silicon can give a pore size which is less than 10 nanometer size. So these are the things or parameters which influence the pore dimension. Now, so what is the reason for fluorescence? So something that there might be some presence of oxides on the surface of these pores that can emit molecular fluorescence. Some things it may be due to the surface defect states or quantum confinement. And another notable feature of porous silicon is that it shows luminescence if you apply a voltage also. So that is what you mean by electroluminescence. And another feature is cathodoluminescence, where you can see luminescence when it is bombarded with the ion. So now we'll look into ordered nanostructured solids. The examples we'll be looking at will be nanoparticles in zeolite, which is a mineral, and photonic crystal. So today we'll discuss about how the nanoparticles can be orderly arranged in a zeolite. So the zeolite are actually a particular kind of minerals which have an ordered pore structure. So here we will be considering forgasite, which is a cubic mineral, and we can incorporate uh, nanoparticles in the orderly arranged pores in the zeolite or forgasite mineral. So forgasite is a particular mineral as shown here, and it is a porous material. And what is the relevance of pores? These pores are arranged regularly in space, like how the lattice is arranged, and it is large enough to accommodate the nanoclusters. And also there is a weak van der Waals interaction between the cluster and the pore or the zeolite. So this is such a zeolite into which a nanoparticle cluster has been incorporated. So here you can see the pores are well arranged, and if you place or incorporate clusters in the pores, it shows a regular arrangement of nanocluster. So that's how we can make an ordered nanostructure crystal. So you can also think of low dimensional nanostructure solids making use of zeolite. So for example, if you consider mordanite, mordanite is like a cylinders being kept close to each other. So the pores are actually elongated pores. So you can incorporate a chain of particles into those elongated pores, and these chains, adjacent chains, will not have any particular interaction among them. So you could have long parallel channels in the in such a mineral, and the diameter of the order of 0.6 nanometer, and into which nanoparticles can be incorporated. In this case, selenium is incorporated. So you'll get a chain of single atom of selenium in the mordanite. So what is the benefit of having that? You'll get different chains which are very close to each other, but they have reduced interaction between these parallel chains. And hence, due to the reduced interaction, the electronic structure for a selenium chain inside a mordanite will be different from a usual selenium crystal. So what you get, if the electronic structure is different, the band levels will be different, and hence optical absorption spectrum will be a different one. So here is a comparison between optical absorption spectrum of chains of normal selenium atom as well as the chains of selenium atom in the mordanite. So M stands for the selenium atom in the mordanite, while the bold line shows it is for the normal crystal of selenium. So here you can see a marked shift in peak is noticed in the both cases. So that is the benefit of having such nanoparticles in zeolite. That is not only the shift in peak, you can also see a shape change. That is, the absorbance itself is getting changed. So we'll end with this. Thank you.